You're listening to the Practical Living Podcast with Doreen Rainey, where we focus on purpose, peace, and prosperity. Our goal is to support you in applying the teachings of Christ in your everyday life. Welcome to episode 23 of Practical Living. This is Doreen Rainey, and I am coming to you today excited to talk about all. That's right, A-L-L. And the reason why that word, even though it's just 3 letters, is so powerful is because it speaks to the place that God has in our lives. So let's take a look at what all means. All is the whole. All refers to the full extent, everything. And when it comes to our lives, God is concerned about all. And this word first stuck out for me a while ago when I heard the song Through All of It by Colton Dixon. And what really resonated with me was the part of the song that simply says, I have won and I have lost. I got it right sometimes, but sometimes I did not. Life's been a journey. I've seen joy. I've seen regret. And you have been my God through all of it. And it is a great reminder that He never leaves, He never forsakes us, and there is nothing in this world that could happen to us, that we can experience, that we can go through, that separates Him from us. The only way that we can have separation from Him is that if it is instigated by us. And I want this session, this podcast, this episode to be a great reminder that even when it seems as if He's abandoned you, even when it seems that He's not on your side, that He's not looking out for you, that He is with you always, and that He is working things out for your good. And I'll be the first to admit, it can be challenging to hold on to your faith. You can struggle to believe. You can be struggling to see Him working on your behalf when you are dealing with situations and circumstances that can be devastating. But part of our faith is knowing that even in the midst of illnesses, in the midst of death, in the midst of job loss, in the midst of abandonment, in the midst of miscarriages, in the midst of divorce, that He is still there and He is still with you. And there is still victory inside of your faith. And so this episode is really about encouraging you that if by chance you have lost sight, that He will never leave, that He will never forsake you, that He loves you, that in Him you have the victory, that in Him everything works out in your favor, that in Him the words of the song rings true, that we have won, we have lost, sometimes we've got it right, and sometimes we didn't. That life is a journey and we've seen joy and regret, and He is our God through all of it. And He will continue to be our God, loving us and keeping us even in the midst of challenge. Before I wrap up, of course, I want to share with you the foundational scripture from Practical Living, which is 1 Thessalonians 5:11. And it says, therefore, encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing. If you have been enjoying this podcast, if some of these episodes have been resonating with you, I would love to hear from you. You can leave a review on iTunes. If you are listening from our blog on our website at practicallivingministries.org, you can feel free to leave a comment below, share your takeaway, share your aha. And of course, we'd love for you to hit the share button and pass this podcast along to family and friends who you think would benefit as well. So, until our next episode, be encouraged and know that He is with you always. Thank you for listening to this episode of Practical Living. You can connect with us on Instagram at Practical Living Ministries and on our website at practicallivingministries.org.